So, Vinny, Granny, we got some things to review here today. We all agreed that we were going to watch an episode of Car 54, Where Are You? And you initially sent me the link, or you sent me the name of the episode, but it was the wrong name, so I couldn't find it, right?
Yeah, I know.
And then you finally corrected yourself.
And I was so proud of myself because I found session 1 and episode 25, and then it started out with awards. And I didn't pay attention, so I boo-booed.
Did you guys understand anything that she just said?
Not really.
I'm afraid not.
Okay. Did you watch it, Granny?
Twice.
Okay, so can you review it for us, and we can throw in our commentary? Because we all watched it too, Granny.
I thought we'd all do it. Well, the way it started was all the officers were getting badges or whatever, awards. And there stood Tootie and what's his name? And they didn't get it.
Francis Muldoon.
Yes.
Muldoon. Tootie and Muldoon. So they didn't get one. So the captain made a mistake of saying that they needed volunteers down at the park for the ball game. And Tootie decided he was going to volunteer, so he did.
Because he wants to get an award.
Yeah, so come on, everybody. Pitch in. What's your rest
Well,
of
I
it?
just did.
You kind of jumped in there, Granny, and took the show over, and we just got out of your way.
Okay, now go
Well,
from here.
one of the officers that was getting an award was Grandpa Munster.
Yes.
Yes, he's on the
So
show.
both Munsters, or at least two of them, are on Car 54. I had no idea.
Yes,
Right.
yes. In fact, that's true. So
Herman Munster, Ed Gwynn? Fred Gwynn.
Fred Gwynn.
Fred Gwynn.
Yes, Tootie wanted to get an award because he hadn't gotten one after a full year. They'd never gotten one in 8 years, I think they said. I forget the exact number.
13, I believe.
13, whatever. But he's going to go and he's going to be a plainclothes officer, Granny.
Yeah.
And he's gonna see if he can nab some pickpockets. So what happened?
He catches one, little Wally Cox. That's the reason I picked that, because I liked him. And he was going around, Wally was going around picking all the pockets and stuff. And then when Tootie got him, he picked Tootie's pocket. And when the cops came, he showed the cops Tootie's badge and said, "Take this guy away. He's a pickpocket." So Tootie went to jail.
That's right. So the cop goes to jail.
Yeah. So
I might add that for some reason their badge and their identification didn't have a photograph on it.
That's right.
But what the hell can you do?
Back then, they probably didn't have it.
They hadn't invented cameras yet.
There was television.
How'd they film the show?
They probably just didn't have pictures on their IDs yet.
All right. Okay.
Go from there, somebody.
All right.
Well, go ahead, Vinny.
So the pickpocket who is now impersonating the cop, he says his name is Featherfingers Featherton.
Yeah.
And his story is he always wanted to be a police officer, but he's too short. Mm-hmm. He says if he was 3 inches taller, he had been a cop and a hell of a cop. But he takes Tootie's place. Tootie is thrown into the paddy wagon, helpless. The guy has no ID. He's been plain clothes. He's just wearing like a Yankee shirt. It's the World Series, and this is important. When they didn't get any citation, and as Tootie is trying to figure out what they can do this weekend to get one, what they can do to be somewhere where crime is going to be, Muldoon says, "I don't want to do anything. I just want to go home and watch the World Series."
So he's playing the role of you.
In so many ways.
Yes.
I don't think Tootie is like you very much at all. Muldoon is very, very much like me.
Yes.
He just wants to show up to work, do what he has to do until he can punch out, and then just go home and watch sports alone. That's all he wants to do.
I mean, I would appreciate my citations.
I suppose that's true. You do like recognition.
Yes.
Yeah. So Featherfingers Featherton here. He said he wanted to be a cop, and so, now that he has a cop's badge and ID, he goes around busting all the other pickpockets.
Because he knows all their tricks.
He knows all their tricks. He wanted to prove he'd be a good cop. So he takes them all to the paddy wagon, and they all get thrown in.
Somehow, even though they're taking everybody to jail and then coming back to pick up more and taking them to jail and coming back to pick up more, Tootie is still in the paddy wagon every time they're picking up people. That was weird.
Well, it certainly was. So meanwhile, Muldoon is there. He appears to be about 8 feet tall, walking around in a big giant cowboy hat. Everyone thinks he's Marshall Dillon.
I howled.
He's Without even trying to, he's harassing a hot dog vendor. He just keeps walking back and forth, and the vendor keeps moving his cash box to the other side of him. And finally, there's you hear a crack of a bat and a mighty cheer from inside the stadium, and Muldoon can take no more. He must go see if the Yankees are winning. So he runs away, but as he does this, somebody steals the vendor's cash box, and he screams, "I've been robbed!" Inside the paddy wagon, all the busted pickpockets are saying how they ended up there, and they all tell the story of the world's best cop, Officer Tootie. Busted them all, got them all arrested. And of course, Tootie is in there listening to them talk about what a great cop he is and doesn't want to change their minds or interrupt them or correct them. The captain gets a phone call from the chief about what a great cop Tootie is, how they all need to go down to the jail, pose for pictures, get a lot of press. Tootie and the other pickpockets are finally taken to jail. He begins to plead his case. He can't convince anyone that he's an officer. He can't call the captain and have them tell him the truth, because then the captain will know he was arrested. And
I feel like I'm the captain.
That's possible.
That's how I felt watching this.
That's possible. So Tootie gets one phone call. He calls Muldoon, who in fact has just gone home because he just wants to watch baseball. He's sitting down, he's adjusting the rabbit ears, trying to watch the game, get the picture in, and he gets the phone call from Tootie. Tootie needs someone to go help him get out of jail. Muldoon is loyal. He's going to go help his friend. So the captain and the chief get to jail. They ask, "Where's Tootie?" And they are told Tootie is now at Madison Square Garden for the prize fight tonight, a big night of sports in New York City. So he's at Madison Square Garden catching pickpockets there. Now, this, of course, is Featherfingers Featherton pretending to be Tootie, but they don't know that. So they leave, and Muldoon arrives, having just missed them, and he begins to look for Tootie, who, of course, is not there now. So somehow, the captain, the chief, and Tootie have all gotten to the same place. They set the record straight amongst themselves. Tootie had his ID stolen. There's someone out there pretending to be him, impersonating a cop. And one of them, either the captain or the chief, says, "We'll need to have this fake Tootie picked up. I sure hate to lose him." Because he's a better cop than the real Tootie.
Yes.
So Muldoon accidentally ends up in a lineup with all the other suspects.
Yes.
And it happens to be a lineup to see who was robbing the hot dog cart.
And it was impossible to miss him because
He's 10 feet tall.
6'6". It's a
So the hot dog vendor points immediately, "That's him! That's the one who stole my money. You're a robber of hot dog stands. That's what you are." That's what he says. And Muldoon goes to pull out his ID to say, "No, I'm a cop." But a different pickpocket has stolen his. Mm-hmm. So Muldoon ends up in jail. The chief and captain try to get the press out of there without any pictures. The press insists on one photo, and so the captain poses in front of all the pickpockets, including, of course, Officer Muldoon, who is 9 feet tall, so everyone recognizes him. Featherfingers Featherton is finally captured. He's brought in.
He's been fingered.
He was, actually, yes.
Yes.
And they say, "Listen, we do have to arrest you and send you to jail, but for all the pickpockets you busted today, we should give you a citation." And Featherfinger says, "Well, I'd like that citation, but I am ready to take my punishment. Today, I made my dream come true. I proved what a great cop I would have been." And the captain says, "Well, in my precinct, you would have been a great cop. In my precinct, Jack the Ripper would have made a great cop." So they're all walking out, and Tootie and Muldoon get their IDs back, and the captain just tells them, "Listen, you take these, don't ever lose them. If anyone calls your name, you just run." And so they show their IDs. Tootie shows his ID. He walks out of jail. Muldoon shows his ID. He walks out of jail. The captain goes to show his ID, but it was stolen by Featherfingers Featherton. He has no ID. He can't prove he's a captain in the police department. Desperate for help, he shouts, "Tootie! Muldoon!" who do exactly what they were commanded to do, and they run away as fast as they can.
The show was so awesome.
Very good.
It's so
Good storytelling. Vinny.
yes, pretty good, Vinny. Pretty good.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
The show is 1,000 times better than Vinny's recap, though, because you get to see the face of the captain every time he learns it. Oh my god,
The comedy is often built on
Tootie
facial
is
expression.
behind me. Oh my god, this better not be Muldoon, and of course it's Muldoon. The show is so great. Everybody plays their role perfectly. The story's awesome. Every swerve is like a great swerve that you should have seen coming. It's just the greatest. I hadn't watched a Car 54 in many years, so when we started watching it, I was afraid, oh man, I'm going to watch this. It's not going to be as good as I used to think it was. Nope. It's just as good. Loved it.
It's the first time I've ever seen this show.
Yeah, what'd you think, Craig?
I very much enjoyed it.
It was a good show, wasn't it?
It
What
was.
about you, Vinny?
It was fun. It was something I was moved to watch again next week or anything.
Oh,
We've watched worse programs.
come on.
like
Clearly you
so-
weren't watching Raw this past Monday. You'd be begging for more Car 54.
Well, it is better than yes. I don't know if we ever said this, but for the record, if anyone wants to hunt this down, it's Car 54. Where are you? No more pickpockets.
Yes.
The name of the episode, March 11th, 1962.
Yeah, they're all up on. They're on YouTube. A bunch of these are on YouTube. Quality's kind of shitty. I'm wondering if there's like a place where you can actually buy them in better quality. Anybody knows? Let me know. I need to watch them. They're the best. It's gonna make me more angry at wrestling, though. I don't know what I can do about
true.
that.
Car 54.
Well, while you do that, Vinny, Granny, let's do the rest.
Had the whole thing on, but kind of in the background. And stuff,
Well,
so-
I feel, Granny, that all of your reviews today were very fair, so nobody should be getting mad at you on the board for any of your opinions.
well, but I'm not a pro, so if I come up with a 0, they should be happy with that because I don't like wrestling.
Well, there you go.
That's a
They should all
philosophical way to
And
look
you
at it.
you rarely have a 0, Granny, so.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
All right, well, it's been real, Granny. You know how to...
Before she goes, I thought I'll let everyone
Yes.
here know Car 54 Where Are You is in fact available on streaming on Amazon. It is a free with Prime, or you can buy it by the episode or by the season.
Really? Wow, I got Amazon Prime. Wow.
I got it on my favorites. I can get on anything I want.
Oh, wow, Granny. That's some power you've got.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we going to do another one or what?
Somebody had a request, actually. Let me see if I can find it here.
I forgot what it was.
I thought it was Married with Children.
No, it was a specific request. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Vinny, I want you to see if you can find this, okay? To find out if it's available somewhere.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, oh, here it is. Paul Fontaine says he already brought it up to you, Granny. And he has sent me a link, so it is available.
All right.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Season 1, Episode 7, Turkeys Away.
Yes.
Okay,
He says,
Wait a minute.
well, don't worry, Granny, I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay.
He says it is the funniest episode of a sitcom that I have ever seen.
It's very true.
High praise. So, is that what we're going to do?
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'll send the link to everybody. Turkeys Away, Season 1, Episode 7 of WKRP in Cincinnati. So there
Because
you go.
there's no better time to watch a Thanksgiving episode than late July.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Exactly. All right, Granny. Well, it's been real. Have fun this week, and we'll review the show next week.
Okay.
All right, you know what to do, right?
Yep.
All right.
5. Red 5.
Red 5.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I should make a shirt for Granny that just says, Red 5.
The Star Wars people would sue you.
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
Yes.
If
Red
I
5.
If I put a 90-year-old woman's picture on a shirt and it just said Red 5, I'd be very disappointed if they came after me.
Okay.
I got as far as red, and the first thing that comes up is Red 5 Star Wars.
Well, soon it's going to be Red 5 Granny as the top
Okay,
link.
you and Mr. Lucas can settle that. That's fine.
Let's do this goddamn show already.
Please.
What are we doing again? Raw?
You fucking tell me. I hope I watched the right show.